I hope. I've been thinking about it. It's alright me sitting here, isn't it? Drinking me beetroot juice, eating nuts and pulses and bleeding plant roots, trying to get my blood pressure down. What my doctor should be saying to me is, don't you think it's time we give up Sheffield Wednesday? I mean, she won't say it like that, she's Chinese, but point stands. Watching them, my heart, they'll finish me off. Wednesday made one change for the visit to Norwich City, Ugbo dropping out of the squad and the first 11 and being replaced by Masaba. Other than that, it's as you were. Beadle in goal, back four of Iofa, Bambo Diaby, Michael Ehekwe, Akinfenmale. Midfield of Masaba, Palmer, Bannon, Windass and Gassama, Michael Smith up front. The visitors, gun in goal, back four Stacey, Bart, Gibson and McCallum, Nunes and McLean in the holding positions, Sarah, Barnes and Sains across midfield and Sargent up front. Obviously now Jan Perveda, that goes without saying, pulled his hamstring Saturday, that's probably his season done. Maybe a bit more of a surprise, Ugbo missing from starting lineup. Copper Chopper's up again. I'm scrouts over here. Anyway, no place for Ugbo. We don't know what's up with him. Masaba recalled to the starting lineup. Always going to be a tricky game this. If we could have got a point before kick-off, I think most people would have took that. Good team, unbeaten in 13, not so good on the road, but still unbeaten in 13, pushing for playoffs, always going to be a tough game. And Wednesday, to be fair, we started quite brightly. No, we did first 5 minutes. I thought, oh, we're alright, Gassama had a couple of little runs. We actually had a close chance. Bambo, well, it weren't close, it should have been close. Edda of at bar, and I thought, oh, quite bright. But within that, there were a few moments at back where we were fanning about with it. And it is fanning about with it, and I don't care if people call me a dinosaur. And I get it. We're trying to invite them on and create gaps. But you can still attempt to do that and still be fanning about with it at the same time. And that's what we're doing, fanning about with it. And probably 2 or 3 times we nearly got caught. Beadle made a good save from one of them. Then again, he made a sharp save. We were messing about, we let him in, good save, and then rebound, they can blaze it off at bar when he really should have buried it and made it 1-0. And as I said, I get it. I get there's a method to it. I get there's a style that we're trying to implement. But the first rule of management, in whatever role it is, wherever your work is, play to the strengths of the people you've got. Play to the strengths of your staff, whoever they might be. Now, Ehekwe, Bambo, I think Bambo's at QPR's probably had his best game for the club. And I like Ehekwe, you watch these videos of a season, because he's a proper centre-half. He heads, he kicks, he tackles, he's brave. Gets his bollocks in where he shots. Proper centre-halves, they're not 1960s, Dutch and German players who are, I played 10 years in midfield and now I'm going to play it back and coming out like a sweeper. The proper old school centre halves. So we'd had about 2 or 3 warning shots. Bright start from Wednesday, but 2 or 3 of these warning signs going off. And like I said, I get the theory. Wednesday played about, they set these little traps. These are all buzzwords we use these days, aren't we? They're setting these little traps. But the problem is with Wednesday, we set traps and then put us on foot in it. 10 minutes in, we get caught fanning about, and it is fanning about. They get a throw in. It's a very simple throw as well. In, flicked on, front stick, Barnes. Kid comes in right back, 1-0. And it's self-inflicted. There's no way of saying it, it's self-inflicted. And the warning signs had been there. The warning signs had been there for the 5-6 minutes before, and every time we were getting ball at back and attempting, they were putting squeeze on us. You've got to give them, credit for that, Norwich, but they're going to put squeeze on if they think they've got an opportunity to get in, because we don't look comfortable, and we don't look comfortable. What it reminds me of is that it's one of the first jokes I ever heard. Tommy Cooper went to the doctor and I said, "Doctor, it hurts every time I do that." He said, "Well, don't do it." And that's Wednesday, innit? With this, we're in a minute at restart. We're at it again. This time, Beadle makes a really good low save, one-handed round foot at post. Their kid had tried a little flick with outside at boot, and we're in another minute again. It's 2-0, and it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy, innit? I mean, we've done all the hard work at QPR. We've righted the wrongs of Middlesbrough, which we've all gone into in depth, and then we're back at it again. All self-inflicted, and as I said, it's a shame because against a good team, a team that's going for promotion to Premier League, it was a bright opening to the 5 minutes, and I thought we were on it. I thought we were carrying on where we left off against QPR. Then suddenly from that, confidence, isn't it? Everything's about confidence. Suddenly passes aren't making it. Passes into midfield that in first 5 minutes we were making, not making it. Balls into forward. They're short. We're under hitting stuff again, and it's like a flow in it, or a lack of flow. And as soon as you're in trouble, you can see shoulders slump, and like I said, the worst thing is it's self-inflicted. They could have probably had a third or fourth. They had a shot that went wide, because they were pouring on. Barnes is an handful. He's an handful. I'm not sure we really got to grips with him. He was playing off at kid up front and dropping into little sort of spaces and causing us some problems in there. I half thought we might just put Palmer on him and sort of follow him about and give him a kick, And I'll be honest with you, from Norwich's point of view, if I were them, I'd be really disappointed it went 3 or 4-0 at half time. Dead embedded, job done, and shut up shop. And Beadle, for all he's got caught faffing about for 1 goals, he's made 2 brilliant saves before break, which, as you go into the second half, you can then look at them. Like I said, he's been involved in a cock-up, but the 2 saves he's made before break, and he makes 1 straight after break, they've stopped it becoming 3-0 and played a pivotal part in comeback. So overall, I think he's had a decent game. 4 changes at break for Danny Hull. Pedersen come on, Patterson come on, Volts come on, and Valentin come on. So we went to a sort of back 5. I quite like that because suddenly we've got a spare man at middle at back, which meant when he were making his little drop-offs, Barnes, we were able to get in there and somebody were able to go to him and I'll fucking come and deal with you, son. Do you know what I mean? And rest of them sort of... So that were good. But as well as looking a little bit tighter at back with that, the main catalyst were Callum Patterson. Talked about PATO the other day, talked about him against Middlesbrough, even though he weren't there, even though he didn't start. And I said, you need 11 with his attitude, 11 with his personality, if you like. And we can say it again and again. It don't matter how good you are at ball. It don't matter if you can drift past players with a lovely ease to you. It don't matter if you're a brilliant ball player, silky skills. If you haven't got the heart, there's no point. And he's got it spades, and the entire catalyst for the second half comes from him. And I said it the other day, you could do a team with 10 Callum Pattersons playing outfield. And today, it's not even ours anymore, is it? West Yorkshire Police have got it now. We have to borrow it. That's £6 million worth of cuts. What do you expect? We're sending them around on a fucking skateboard. No politics. Callum Patterson, as I said, over there I said you could do with 10 with his attitude, you could do with 10 with him. And second half today, that's what we did have. We did have 10 with the Callum Patterson attitude because he led by example and it was infectious. Michael Smith, by the way, is closing down in second half were absolutely unbelievable. For the big lad, he was putting himself all over the place. I've never seen him work so hard in the time he's been at club. And difference it made. He looked a different player. Everybody looked a different player after the break. Volks has come on, winning tackles, chucking folks on floor. Okay, maybe he shouldn't be doing that. But getting involved, that little bit of spite. And you've got to have that little bit of spite. And football these days, I see that after the game, Wagner's had a bit of a dig, it's old-fashioned football, long throws and corners and blah, blah. Well, fucking suck it up, pal, because there's more than one way to skin a cat. And what do you want us to do? Carry on fanning about across our 18-yard box so your lads can have it easy? There's a lot of snobbery with football. This is where you've got to play. Is it? I mean, Danny, to be fair to him, has come out. This is one thing that's impressed me about today, as much as Wednesday's comeback. Was that Danny's come out after the game and said, yeah, we've had to go ugly, we've had to go direct, we've had to turn him round quick. Good. I respect that. I respect the fact he's gone, do you know what, I want a certain way. Moving forward, I want us to play a certain way. And obviously in the summer he'll try and get players in who can play that way. But what I like is he's tried this tonight again. It's not come off, and he's gone, do you know what, fuck it, let's bit of old school. Good. And fans don't mind that. Like I said, there's a lot of snobbery these days with football. You've got to do this and over. And listen, don't get me wrong. Sometimes I hear people, fit. And you can see other people, oh dear. Get it footed, oh dear. As if get it footed, just but if we hoof it forward, we just lose possession of the ball. As if you can't play a long pass to feet. Do you know what I mean? As if it's either that or that. There is an halfway house. There is a grey area in between. It's not just black and white. There is a grey area. I don't know if you've ever heard of somebody called Glenn Hoddle who could pass a ball 70 yards and drop it on somebody's toe without him having to break stride. Or Jan Molby, or John Sheridan, or Gary McAllister, or Franz Beckenbauer, or Paul Scholes, Steven Gerrard, David Beckham, Pirlo, who, by the way, weren't afraid to turn and ping a 40, 50-yard ball across pitch. Oh, this get it forward brigade. Oh, do you know what I mean? As if every time a ball goes more than 5 yards and it's not on turf, it's bloody Wimbledon, aimless punt up towards a corner flag and playing on percentages. You can be a bit more direct and still find the person you're aiming for. It's a real snobbery about game. There really is. That's probably a different video, but nah. Wednesday really pushing up in wide areas. Obviously, we've gone to a sort of back five, but as it is, obviously we're desperate for goals, aren't we? So Pedersen's really pushed up on left-hand side. Valentin's bombing right up on right-hand side. So it really is like a back three at this stage, and that does mean that there are opportunities for Norwich to get at us on counter-attack, which they're going to, quality side, and there's a couple of times they get in. Kid, is it Sarah? He bursts in that right-hand side. he does the right thing. He goes for placement far post, but just sort of drags it wide a bit. And again, Beadle makes a really good low save, very brave. And again, that's what I mean. He's fanning about for 1 goals, but he's more than made up for it with me with some saves, especially in that second half before we've got that second goal. Second goal. I'll talk about first. And we hadn't scored from a corner for about 10 years, it feels like. Will Volks come on? Delivery, somebody different delivering corners. It does make a difference, and it's basic stuff. And it don't mean other people aren't good players, but people have got different skill sets, haven't they? Do you know what I mean? Chris Waddle's probably the greatest player I've seen in a Wednesday shirt, but I won't fancy him taking a penalty to win me a game. Do you know what I mean? People have different things that they're really good at. Volks, fantastic corners. First one, a heck way. And that's only ever going to end up in back at net. The determination there, that is only going it back at net. He gets up there. And that second one, Smith, again, after some relentless Wednesday pressure, and again, all coming, all stemming from Patterson. And in end, we've sort of got him, Smith and Karamatri charging about up front like absolute lunatics. And Norwich, a team who like to get it down, like to play good football, as their manager were only too keen to point out. They like to play it through the lines, or in pockets of space, as we used to call it in the old days before football was invented. Suddenly they're going long, suddenly they're under pressure, and their full-back's smashing it into the stand. And that's just with effort and attitude and desire, and I'm just going to wipe my bollocks off. It's more than one way to skin a cat. Not that I condone cruelty to animals. I mean, there's one bit. I know Patterson, despite the fact he's been the absolute catalyst for this comeback against a team that we probably weren't really expecting to win against or get a point from. And he'll still have his critics because he did miss a chance. But he had a chance from a long ball where he's run 65 yards down pitch, barged one man off ball, took it past the other man, driven on into the box, and then had to force a shot on his weaker foot and force keeper into a good save. And he'll probably get slagged for not burying that. And he'd probably be disappointed himself that he didn't score a goal. But again, the work rate, it was a long ball and there was really no in it. It was 2v1 in their defender's favour, and he's just bashed him about. Sometimes it's really simple stuff that's the most effective. It don't have to be a science all the time. It don't have to be this and this and this and this and this. Sometimes it's just bang, get after that and make a nuisance of yourself. 90th minute, again, Beadle. They got a really good breakdown right hand side. It's a ball coming into the box that it's low, it's hard. It's one of them that I wouldn't expect a goalkeeper to come for, if you know what I mean. I would expect defender to come sweeping across and goalkeeper to just take a position. But he comes out really low. Brave, really brave, face down there amongst studs. It's a really good take. It takes pressure off defence, just slows the game down a little bit. And again, we were having to throw everything at it, and we were a little bit open and a little bit susceptible, and that's when you need a number one in there that you can bank on and rely on. I think he's overall okay. He's passing out front back man will be strongest, but overall I think he's had a very good game. Overall, great result. It's got to be seen as a great result. Fantastic result. 2-0 down after 16 minutes. Could have been 3 or 4. I mean, genuinely, if Norwich had gone in at break 4-0 up, it wouldn't have flattered. Not because they were outstanding. They were very good. Thought they closed down really well, played some good stuff. But our suicidal tendencies, keep doing it to us, and then we put it right. Then next time out we try it again. Ugly. Sometimes you've got to win ugly, and I don't mind that. Just want us to get points on board. As long as I see effort and commitment and getting points on board, everything else is a bonus, you know what I mean? It's one of them funny things, innit? But I remember when I was a kid, obviously Howard Wilkinson's side, first side, my dad took me. And they used to get a real slagging in national press, you know, with style, sort of anti-football, because they were all licking Liverpool's arse at the time, as if they'd invented football, you know, and Spurs hadn't been doing passive moves since 1950s. And everything that Wednesday did that time was slagged off as ruining game. But I thought it brilliant, because it was always in opposition box. You know, you've got players like Marwood, Sterling, bombing on, crosses in. And I think as a football fan, you want to be excited. And whatever the style of play, whether you're playing it out front and back and through the lines and all this, or whether you're just banging it from a winger at every opportunity, you're more excited when it's in their box than when it's in your own bleeding box, aren't you? Whatever the style. So, like I said, more than one way to skin a cat. We'll look at other quick results. Plymouth 1, QPR 1. Adoma, 85th minute equaliser. Huddersfield lost. Good news for us. That means we're now level on points with them. Southampton. Who else is down Ardent? Millwall 1-0 winners against Leicester. Bleeding hell. How have they pulled that off? I thought they were on slide. So we'll look at table now then. Forget about Rotherham, they're gone. Birmingham 42 points. Wednesday 43. Huddersfield 43. We've got a better goal difference than us. Plymouth 44. Stoke 46. Blackburn 46. Millwall 47. Huge games now. Stoke. I said this will be the biggest week at season. I still believe it. If we can get a result against Stoke, put us on 46, level with Stoke. Huge momentum boost that'd be. Huge confidence boost for lads and fans. 3 points for QPR, a point against Norwich. 4 points so far out of these 9 available. Got to be happy with that. Just hoping against Stoke that we go out and give it what we give it against QPR and what we get second half today. Doesn't have to be pretty. It has to be effective.